So, a day late, but I finally finished playing the demo for Final Fantasy 16 on PS5. And from what I have seen, it has basically been everything that I wanted and so much more. It'll be kind of hard to put my thoughts and feelings into this video because honestly, I have so many thoughts and feelings, I don't even know where to start really. There's so much going on here. From the combat, to the story, to the characters, to the music. Just everything about this demo far exceeded my expectations. And the fact that they include a extended mission after you beat the first part of the story, there's an extension to the demo called the Iconic Challenge, which allows you to play another mission later in game when you have more powers after another time skip. It's so freaking cool. So, the story for the game follows around these countries at war with each other, or maybe not countries, they're more like territories, are at war with each other over dominance of the mother crystals. And each crystal has like a particular individual that's essentially supposed to protect it called a dominant. And these dominants have the power of icons in them. The one that we see is Joshua being the icon or being the dominant of the Phoenix icon. And he is the second born son of the Rossfield family, which is a interesting dynamic. There's a really cool dynamic going on between Clive and his brother alongside of their father and mother. I won't spoil it. I want to stay as spoiler friendly as possible. I don't want to talk about the narrative too much because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But it was a surprise. I was not expecting to see or experience all the things that I did, but it completely blew me away. And you can really tell that I think the M rating on this game actually helps it a lot, because I don't think there's ever been another Final Fantasy game that was rated M. All Final Fantasy games until now have been rated T or E, unless I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure we've never had an M rated Final Fantasy game before. And I think the M rating helps this game a lot because it means the developers don't have to censor themselves in terms of the blood or the violence or the story beats that are a bit more dark or sexual, because there is that too. So I definitely think that the M rating on this game helps elevate the story a lot because the writers don't have to hold back. They can just do whatever they want without having to appease the T rating. Because there was one scene pretty early in the demo that kind of threw me off, like, holy crap. The game's not even 10 minutes long yet, and we're already getting this. If you know what it is, then you know. If you've seen it, then you know what happens. But yeah, there's one particular scene early on that kind of like was, whoa, they're actually doing this. So that's probably enough about the story. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it. The gameplay, though, really, really clean. Super, super clean gameplay. It's fast, it's fluid. In the original story demo, your power set is pretty limited because you can only do the Phoenix stuff. I keep confusing Ifrit and Phoenix together, but you can really only use a limited portion of the Phoenix power set to start with in the first part of the demo. But then the second half of the demo, when you get into the Iconic Challenge part, you have upgraded abilities for Phoenix, Titan, and Garuda. And the second half of the demo, where you have access to more powers, is when the combat really starts to show through as to how cool this game is going to be. Because each power set is a little bit different. The Phoenix I find is pretty balanced. It's pretty good for just all around. The Garuda power set is, I find, really it has fast strikes. I think it deals a little bit less damage, but it's much more quicker, makes you more agile. You even get a little devil hand ability. I think that's what that's called. It reminded me of Nero's power from Devil May Cry, where Nero can shoot a hand and then pull someone back in him to attack him. And then the Phoenix ability, the Phoenix equivalent of that is a charge. So when you're using Phoenix, you can charge. When you're using Garuda, you can pull. And then the final ability you get is Titan. And I actually liked the Titan moveset a lot because he has a really strong punch and a big smash, where instead of pressing the button one time to fire the ability, you actually have to hold it down and then release the ability at the sweet spot, kind of like a really small QTE in the middle of a combat, to do more damage. And if you do it too early or too late, you kind of whiff the attack and do far less damage. But then instead of having a lunge or a grab for Titan, instead you have a block. So Titan is the only character that can block damage. That's what I've seen so far. So far what I've seen is Titan is the only icon that can actually block damage. So when you're in combat, your only option is dodging. Unless you're using Titan, then you can block. And if you time the block at the correct moment, you can do a counterattack for even more damage. And that actually saved me a bunch of times. Using the blocking and countering with Titan helped me a lot. And then I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about would be the music. The music in the game is unbelievable. I'm coming in as a longtime player of Final Fantasy XIV, who uses the same composer, Masayoshi Soken. So a lot of the music in the game feels very familiar to me, because I've played 14 for so long and for so many hours a day that I just know Soken's music and I know his composition style like the back of my hand. So any piece that he puts in the game is just oozing with like style and epicness, because that's just the way that he writes. And the music in the game really was throwing me off a bit, because there were some parts, in particular the final boss that you fight in the second half of the demo, the final boss of the iconic challenge portion, had such a cool boss fight that I ended up actually taking damage and getting hit in the fight because I was more focused on listening to the music than actually doing the fight. So it ended up costing me some health out of it just from listening to that. So yeah, the music in the game is unbelievably good. So all in all, this demo kind of really exceeded my expectations as to what was going to happen. The story, the characters, the world, the music, the gameplay, everything is pretty much perfect. I don't really have any complaints right now. I think you would be stupid to not try this demo out. There's been a lot of people, a very vocal group, who are unrelentlessly hating on this game for a reason I cannot comprehend. Now the demo is out and it's completely free. There is no excuse to not play it and make your own opinion on it. So yeah, if you have not played the demo, I recommend you do that. If you've been like on the fence or uninterested until now, then this demo will surely change your mind and hopefully lead you into buying this game, because it's gonna be something else. This game is gonna be great. I made a tweet yesterday saying that I think this is gonna be like the new Final Fantasy VII, where Final Fantasy VII came out like 20 something years ago, almost 30 years ago, and we're still talking about that game. We're getting remakes, we're getting new characters, new stories, new extensions to the lore and the universe. Like, what other game can you think of has had that much impact on the market? And I genuinely think that that's what's going to happen with this one. The way that Final Fantasy 16 is working out right now, I think this is going to be a game that we're going to continue talking about decades into the future as one of the greatest games ever made. So, yeah, these were my thoughts and opinions on the Final Fantasy 16 demo after finishing it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter.